episode of Unspoken Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Denise. What's up? It's Friday. We made it, baby. What it do? So I got my guest back again because he just can't stay off, and I'm just playing. Drew, what's up?
How y'all doing? How is everybody? I'm doing okay.
So I don't know because this is like a split, like a two-part conversation that we about to have. So it's the first part of it is how do you know when that person is the one.
I don't.
And the second part is how many marriages is enough? Cause see, this is that's why I said this is a two-part topic tonight though. Like, but I think we need to dive into it because you got some people that's been previously married, some people that's never been married. So
Some
it's
people that don't want to be married.
well,
yeah.
I guess we gotta talk about that too.
I don't know. It was hard to explain. I don't know. For me, like when I was younger, I guess I was looking for the one. Like 20 something years ago. I guess that's the concept that we're handed off as we like grow up to become adults. You got to find the one. But sometimes I think in life, some people are lucky and they may find the two or the three.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay. So because we talking about this, you saying some people find the one, the two, the three. Okay, so do you feel like your thought process and mindset about marriage, commitment, being monogamous has changed from 20 years ago versus today? Like how you feel about a relationship, a partnership, a marriage?
No, I'm one of those people like it's gonna sound selfish and evil, but I don't really care what anybody's got going on, as long as I get mine. That's how I used to think. So back in the day, like to me, like I could have a relationship with a handful of ladies. I mean, this one's married. I mean, that's great. So that means when we're not together, somebody's looking after her. And sometimes I had a girlfriend that it was like me and her, we played one on one, but me and her, we played, 33. You know what I mean? And then you had the girls that you hung out with that lived on the other side.
Oh, so you could get away with more because they didn't stay on the same side of town as you.
No,
Is that what
I
you
would just
saying?
say like when I was younger, I had better time management skills, so I was able to get away with more BS.
Oh,
And as I've gotten older, I've realized that like nobody's winning, and the only person I'm tricking is myself because I'm hanging out with this chick who's actually married. You know what I'm saying? Our relationship is like two kids hanging out in the park. They know each other, but I don't think her husband's gonna feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And I started to, and in my heart, like I really don't try to get involved with other people's situations at all. And that sounds heartless, but it's a fact. So as I've gotten older, I'm starting to realize that you have to be accountable, even when you're not like you don't want to be. So I would have to say like as I've gotten older, I realized as an adult you have to be adulting, and like it took me a while to like get that part down. So as I've gotten older,
oh yeah, when life started life and you be
yeah,
like, I don't want to be an adult no more.
right. So like as I've gotten older, I realized that like, okay, I can be with one person, right? And then I have to give up all these other people that I used to be with, which is no problem, you know what I'm saying? Because if you know what I know, that one over there was married, right? So she's not mine, she's ours, right? And if you know about the girl I was playing one on one with, who said she was with me, she was actually with us, right? And then the girls on the other side of town, well, we was all together, you know what I mean? So being with one girl, it really didn't sound too bad when I thought about it. I was like, well, I get a chance to ditch everybody in the hoopty, you know what I'm saying? And try to get my life together.
Okay, so let me ask you like how many times total have you been married and what's the length
Oh man, I was
of the
probably
marriage?
like, how many times total I've been married? Oh, okay. So like nowadays, like I'm intelligent, so I learned to ask well, you can be married in several types of ways. You know what I'm saying? You could be married like through the state. You could be married mutually, where you have an understanding spiritually, with you, your community, and the person you're with. You could be secretly married, you know what I'm saying, where you get married out of state, you know what I'm saying, and nobody really knows but you, that person in another state. So me, man, I
Yeah,
mean, it's within a handful too, and that's sad. That's sad.
this
You
true
know,
power. So
it's sad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, I've been legally married, like in the state once, and mutually married and understood like twice. So I've been married like a total like 3 times. Yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah.
You really ain't that old. Like, okay, so what's the length of the marriages?
The
Like,
first one was a prison sentence. I did 25. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Yeah. It starts like the first
a
one.
prison
It
sentence
was
is
it was
crazy.
no, the first marriage is 20 years. Yeah, you know. And then
That's a long time. It's a
yeah,
nice chunk of your life. Like,
yeah, yeah. And then like the second one was like kind of abrupt and it was weird. Like, how people say like you gotta like give things times like boom, I got divorced and got remarried again like 6 months later. It's like, but it only lasted for like 90 days. So it's like, I was smart.
oh, so that's not even, that's a annulment. That's not even really a divorce.
But technically, it was still married. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right. So, and then like recently, I got married. So it's like I'm not proud of myself. I seem like I like punishment. Like I like I didn't learn after the 20-year stint, and then like I did not learn again after doing it again 6 months later and only doing it for 90 days. So back at it again. I
Oh, so
mean,
you basically saying like you a glutton for punishment. That's what you're saying. Like,
I,
because
I
you
mean,
just keep going through this same merry-go-round. Like,
I think I'm one of those guys like that honestly look myself in the mirror and look myself in the face and just like realize like, dude, I'm a dad, and then and dads are married. Most dads that consider themselves upstanding members of society are married. And
right, but because I did an episode on this probably last year sometime where I asked, is marriage for everybody? Because in the beginning, we talked about people that's never been married, people that don't want to be married, people that's
forced to be married.
forced to be married, people that actually want to be married. I mean, it's a lot of variables. But then I also think that it's a certain concept
I
that
figured.
the society has put out to make us
I learned.
believe.
I learned the first time I got married. So listen, I tell listen all the guys. So listen, this is what I learned. So the first time, first time I gave up a lot of money. Second time I got it there, this third time, listen, she doesn't know it, but I realized a sugar mama when I see one. So I'm just like, you know what? All my eggs in this basket.
A sugar mama.
Just gonna put all my eggs in this basket. It's gonna be all right. You
Wow.
know. And I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna do my best to continue to take care of my health. So I stay good looking for her, and I'm praying this works out. At least until she realizes that I'm expensive to keep up. My upkeep is. I'm a vegetarian. You know what I mean? I'm gonna break her at the grocery store. Fruit,
Well, if she a
vegetables, and
sugar
water.
mama, that shouldn't even be a problem.
And she's gonna be
Okay,
buying a lot
so
of fruit, vegetable, and water.
so is that one of the reasons why you decided to get married again?
No, because I realized I don't want to leave all my money to my kids. They're crazy. If you've seen what they buy right now, imagine you leave $300,000 to a child and leave the other one $200,000. These fools get together like we got $500,000. You know how many pairs of Jordans they may buy? I figure if the sugar mama treats me right while I'm living right, she's only going to be buttering me up so far, and I'm going to I'm going to give her back most of everything she gives me, and then I'm going to put some extra on it. But I'm never going to let her know. And I'm using her for good looks too, because like I'm getting old, so I need a good looking woman, you know.
Oh, so she can make you feel better about yourself.
Of course, I mean, I still have all my faculties, you know, and you know,
Fa-
I'm bald by choice, so you know, so I need a good looking woman. You know, most guys are like, oh,
so
you
when
know,
you say faculties, you talking like teeth.
oh, teeth, good hygiene. Um, I can still play around the basketball with the kids in the park if I have to. I can flat out run from the police for, you know, 5 to 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I can do a 5K still in under 30 minutes. I'm decent, you know.
Oh well, shoot, it's some young cats that can't. Okay.
Oh, oh, did I tell you earlier about what I ran across?
No.
Oh my goodness. You guys got to realize there's a lot of fellas out here. I'm gonna talk directly to you guys. Listen, fellas, when it's okay to do push-ups. Like push-ups have never went out of style. I just wanted just a public service announcement. All guys listening, push-ups never went out of style. Helps keep the chest up. I've been running across a lot of guys out here in society. They need to be wearing undergarments under their shirts. Like a lot of he boobs out there.
He boo. You know what? I'm not doing this with you today.
I was serious.
Hebrews is crazy. Okay, so like in 20 years, you said for the first marriage.
Oh yeah.
So why do you keep doing it? Like what?
I mean, I stuck together in the last one for the 20 because I'm not gonna tell y'all a fib. Like the first five were live. The second five were like okay, and I kind of stuck around for the last 10 for the kids.
Mm. Oh, okay. Wait, because we got to talk about that because I society has, and it's like a stigma to me, where they say stay for the kids in your relationship, and I'm just not realizing like
that's not necessarily the best choice.
Wait a minute, like because what is you teaching the kids if you sticking around in a place that you absolutely miserable in?
You're teaching them to torture themselves and be in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable, and probably leads to a lot of people are depressed, and then they pass that generational depression on because dad's with somebody he really don't want to be with after a while because he's this person they helping out financially, you know what I'm saying, or they're not helping out like spiritually, or they're not helping out just as a member of the group, you know. Maybe dad and the kids are more of a unit than mom, dad, and the kids, you know what I mean? Or maybe mom and the kids are more of a unit than mom, dad, and the kids, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe dad has realized that like over time he's aged like wine and mom's aged like milk.
Age like milk is crazy. I mean,
You see, that's why they have all these new elective surgeries to get rid of those lumps. I think milk was a great description to be talking about how some women age.
oh, okay. Well, I mean,
Milk curdles and it lumps up, right? You make cheese out of it.
Well, I mean, I think I don't agree with people sticking around somewhere where they don't feel loved, wanted, and appreciated. Anyway, that's not wrong. So, regardless to having kids or whatever, I would rather my kids see me be happy and healthy, whether that's with the other parent or not. Like, I'm not gonna personally.
Well, I'm gonna say from a guy point of view, most of us guys who had a dad in their life have gotten to talk like
on what to do.
Yeah, like listen, like my dad, God rest his soul. His name was Andrew Christopher Smith. He told me the most powerful statement I've ever heard a dad tell his son. He said, "Listen, son, you're getting ready to be a dad soon. Whatever you got going on, fix it before the baby comes and finds out."
Mm. Mm.
So, you know, I cleaned up all my foolishness, you know, and I stuck in for the kids. You know, that's why I describe, you know, that first marriage like a prison sentence. Like, because if I'd have went to jail, somebody would have been blessing me with a pair of Nikes, and I'd have had I'd have probably had a Balenciaga jogging suit on right now. I'd have probably had some gold teeth. I'd have probably started rapping. You know, y'all have been calling me Young Drew. You know, I
You
just
know
stepped
what?
up in
Bye.
here.
Ain't nobody playing with you. You a whole trip. Okay, so like, cause you so many marriages in now. So
Yeah, oh
like
yeah,
when you
I'm a
thought,
lifer now. I'm a lifer.
so when you thought that first time she was the one, like how,
Like,
like
why do I
what
keep doing it?
but how did you come up to that conclusion if that's what you thought it was the first time? If you now on the third time, like,
Well, the second time, I don't know. I just think I jumped in just to say, like I operate by a code. I don't know if most people live life by this still. But in my spiritual practice, there's a code that there's no illicit sex. So,
oh, okay, okay.
so technically, you know, there's
Meaning that you can't, according to the rules.
yeah, the Vedic standards. You're not. There's no illicit sex.
Okay.
So
And so that you think that would be a reason why you would get married, even if this wasn't somebody that you seen yourself being with the rest of your life, just so you could have
I mean, it's not the best thing to do, and
access to.
I wouldn't suggest that. But in so many in so many words, that's what it could boil down to that. You know what I mean? Like when you think about it, you know, I don't know too many guys that are willing to hang it up and be celibate for the rest of their days that are 6 foot tall, chocolate, and you know, like myself. You know, you know,
Okay, so like you got a lot of experience because I've been married before too. Not quite as long as you, but
I don't think anybody wants to do a sentence.
um, I was married for 7.
Oh yeah, okay. So you
So
took
I feel
that's like
like,
just like a gun charge or like some
yeah,
crack in the
I
school
mean,
zone.
I got what I needed to get from the
It
situation.
wasn't a murder. It wasn't like a
I'm
murder.
not, I'm not throwing him under the bus, and I've been divorced from him 11 years now.
Oh,
So, I mean, that's a huge gap.
that is.
I think I've been divorced longer
Okay,
than I was married.
I was just saying, wait, like, were you
So
divorced?
it's like, I get that. I understand that. It makes a whole lot of sense to me. But for me, I was like, I can't because I couldn't grow.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So, would you say for yourself, like, is 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 being married better than making the choice to try to find as many people that you have things in common with, or like to suit your narrative?
No, because if we knew what was best, we would probably make some better decisions. So I don't even think that it got nothing to do with that. I just felt like the relationship didn't have no substance, no solid foundation. Like we was doing stuff together. I mean, that couples do, but it wasn't what I thought or seen marriage to be growing up. So it was like, okay, wait a minute. This don't.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What's the long? Okay, what's the number? What's the longest span of marital relationship you guys got in your family?
50 years
All right.
on one side.
Okay. On my dad's side, 65 years.
Yes, see, but it's certain things that you can see within their relationship is what I'm saying, like that I knew was not present in mine.
Yeah.
And so, I went and talked to
could-
who I felt like understood me and knew where I was coming from. And that was my grandmother. She said, you can't just walk away off the top. That can't just be your first response. And I was like, what? Like, I'm gone. Like, I'm over it. I don't care about nothing nobody told my granny. And she was like, no. She was like, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to him. You also owe it to God because that's who allowed it to happen. And I was like, oh. And she was like, I don't know who told you that every day was going to be peachy. And that stuck with me, like, still to this day. That stuck with me because I was like, yeah, I was under the impression that every day was going to be good. because that one day was great. You get what I'm saying? Like
I got you.
it's a fantasy, it's an illusion that I think society creates. They don't tell you about.
I don't think it's an illusion. I think it's something that we create by ourselves, like by this pursuit for happiness. Like, what is technically the pursuit for happiness? It's a concept.
Mm.
In actuality, what I've learned, the pursuit for happiness is trying to make God happy, and then you become happy because God's happy.
Mm. Well, see, that's why I said it was certain stuff that was not present. Like, yes, I know I stood before God and I said these vows and I meant them, but God wasn't present in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, like I couldn't
And,
grow, and that's what I meant.
That would be a loaded question for me. Maybe one day I could be a guest on your podcast again, and we get somebody like from the religious community, because you know what I want to ask: how come it always seems like, and this is going to sound messed up, but it's true. How come it always seems in this day and age that now is being more revealed that the most cheating people is the people that preach at church?
Oh.
So what happens when God is present in a relationship, or said He's present in a relationship, and things aren't still the best?
Mm. Well, I knew that was part of it. I'm not saying that was the absolute deal breaker, but that was part of it for me. Why I walked away, because it was too much stuff going on that I knew didn't align with a marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, based off of what I saw growing up, I was like, no, that's not how this is supposed to go. And I'm going to either continue it and be absolutely miserable in my own skin, or I'm going to find the courage to walk away. Like, it took me 2 years to do it before I actually was like, okay, I'll file. Instead of the back and forth and trying to, I didn't want to go through none of that. When I'm done with the situation, I'm done. It is no need to like prolong it or drag it on. Like, if it's done, it's done, you know. I would say what I learned from that relationship was what I don't want in a marriage. Like, I knew then, like, no, I gotta have somebody that's got some substance about themselves, that's God fearing. Not to say like, oh, okay, they gotta be holy or none of that, but I knew that I wanted them to know who God was, or at least be attempting to try to figure out. Like, I could work with that versus somebody is just wandering. You just here. You don't really have a purpose. You just here. Like, I couldn't align with something like that, because now I realize, like, yeah, your life is way more than what you thought. Like, at this age now, it's like, no, you still deserve happiness with the right person. But I also think that a lot of people, they get stuff misconstrued because they think that marriage, it don't take work. Like, it literally takes work. Like, you get up, go to work, clock in, clock out. It take work, and both parties have to be willing to show up.
I believe that.
To do it, in order for it to last, for it to be effective or efficient. Like, you have to. If only one person is like carrying all the weight and doing all the work, that is why a lot of marriages crumble, because it's resentment that's built behind that. It's like, no, we both signed up for this. Like,
yeah,
why am I feel like I'm the only one that care? Like, that's a bad place to be in your marriage. That. Like, and I was there. That's a bad place to be, and I was just like, dang, like, how did we even get to this point? But maybe it was because it always was that from the beginning, and I just wanted it to be something else. If that makes sense. Like,
could be.
Sometimes we try to make stuff into what we want it to be instead of accepting stuff for yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can look back now and say that, but at the time I was like, no, I'm in love. I love him. He the one. You said marry your best friend. And I even think that is something that's plays over, and maybe it's just women's heads, but I think that's something that we listen to too. Like, marry your best friend. I'm not sure if people understand what that entails. I don't think that that was meant to say your actual best friend. And I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking like that couldn't be what they was thinking when they said that. I think they were saying find somebody that is compatible for you. Find somebody who compliments you. Find somebody who has some type of values or morals to them that can become your best friend. I don't think they actually meant your best friend. Yeah. And so even I can say like I got caught up in that because I'm like, I'm doing what y'all said. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what I thought.
The crazy part is when you say like, you listen to people are saying like, I got married in the first marriage for 20 years. Like, I didn't tell nobody I was married, who I was married. I'm marrying this person. That's what I married, and that was that, and it worked. And then it seemed like the person that I married that was only married for like 100, was it like 90 days? I introduced her to everybody, and it's like everybody loved her, and I was like, but they didn't like the one I was married to for 20 years, and it worked for 20 years. Shit, everybody liked this one. It didn't work. It didn't work more than 20 lunar cycles.
Lunar cycles. Wow. I don't know. I don't think nothing wrong with that, honestly. Because in my first marriage, I wanted to show off. Like, I wanted everybody to know, like, this was my husband. We was married, blah, blah, blah. Like, but none of that really mattered. Like you said, how the family feel, how your friends feel, because they not the ones that's in the relationship. Like, the marriage is between y'all two. I mean, I would say the best advice I was given was to keep people out of my marriage. I think that is like so necessary in order for you to keep a lot of temptation out. A lot of people that's not married, them giving you their single opinions.
Advice, yeah.
You know, that's extremely helpful with trying to keep yourself level as a married couple. This is just me. I would prefer to only hang with people that's married too. So then we got something in common, if nothing else.
I don't know. That sounds kind of loaded too, because if you're hanging around married people and he's got the wife that's always got the wandering eye, then that put the guy wait in a situation where he's putting in an arena where like there's a bunch of cougars and he's like, what the hell's going on up in here?
But I mean, I don't have a problem with eyes. A man got eyes if they ain't got nothing else. Is it disrespectful? Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, I'm not bothered by it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been with my husband and we both looking. So it's like, shit, why would I get mad at him for y'all hunters? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's nothing wrong with you looking. Okay, you can look, but you can't touch. So what? Go ahead, get your little peek on or whatever. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. But then I'm a different kind of woman too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, most women would be like, hell no, as soon as he do it, it's smoke, blah, blah, blah. For what, though? For what, though? Because you're not going to be around all the time, and it's going to be some women that is not dressed
appropriately.
Yep. And that's the temptation right there. The door is already got a crack in it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's already cracking it. Every time that you go outside and you're not with your significant other, there is a possibility that somebody gonna tempt you about something. For whatever reason, like, it's the risk that you take. Like, is you gonna stand on business about your marriage and your significant other, or is you gonna be like, well, out of sight, out of mind, because they don't see me, so I can. Because I think a lot of people will say that. Well, what they don't know won't hurt them. Hear a lot of people saying, I'm serious. Like, these is all things that I heard growing up, and I used to be like, what? Like, I didn't have no understanding because I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, what they don't know won't hurt them.
Some people just operate by just unsavory principles.
Ooh, you said unsavory principles?
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like as a woman, as a wife, you know when something ain't right in your relationship. You know when they stop listening. You know when they stop paying attention. You know when perhaps they start wandering. You know, because you can feel it. This is not something that I'm proud of, but shoot, man, my ex-husband was cheating like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I used to have dreams about it. Like I could tell when he was doing stuff. Like I could feel it. And then maybe that's just me being connected to my higher self. You know what I'm saying? But I knew. I called him out on it. And it's like most times us as women, we ask questions that we already know the answers to. I don't know how many men know that, like, but we do. We ask questions we already know the answers to. We know the answers already. We wanted to see if you was gonna tell us the answer, the truth, not the answer you wanted to tell me so I could be okay, not the answer you wanted to tell me just so I'll leave it alone. No, tell me the truth, because I'd rather you kill me with the truth than kill me with a lie. Just tell me the truth. You know, so I don't know. I guess I'm cut from a different cloth because you got a lot of women that don't want to be married, and if they do, I think that perhaps it's for all the wrong reasons. I think a lot of people might be married for all the wrong reasons. Some of them married because the other party was well off, and so they felt like that was the best move for them so they could be financially secure or stable or whatever. Then you got, hey, we putting it all out there.
Yeah.
Then you got some of them, they thought that's what they wanted.
Yeah,
They thought it sounded
like
good.
a good idea.
Yeah. And so they followed through with it because they felt like that was the right thing to do. They just kept getting told that's the right thing to do. You know, a lot of us get told that growing up. You better get married. You better be married. But marriage is not for everybody. I'm so sick. It's not for everybody. If you're going to be a selfish individual by yourself, single, then there is no way in hell you should ever get married. That's just my personal opinion. It makes no sense for you to get married. Because at that point, you've already decided within yourself that it's all about self. And a marriage is you deciding to share yourself with somebody else. The best parts of you, the worst parts of you, your flaws, everything. Everything. Nothing is off limits. Because ain't nobody going to know you like the person that you with.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying, though? Like, no one's going to know you. Your boys is not even going to know you the way your woman know you. Because she done seen parts of you that they ain't seen. They don't know that vulnerable side. You know what I'm saying? They don't know that, oh, okay, I need to vent. I got some stuff on my chest. I just want you to listen. They don't know that side. Because when y'all together, that's not the type of stuff that y'all talk about. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the way it should be. You shouldn't be discussing what's going on within your relationship with your friends. Or that's another most important thing. Like,
never talk too much to your friends.
Woo! I wish women, please, women, stop doing that. Stop talking to your friends about what's going on with you and your man and what y'all got going on, both in and out the bedroom and all this extra. Stop doing that. Because you lining her up. You lining her up for her to try something. For her to try to get at him, for her to try to find out. And you can't even really blame her because you didn't put her on the scent, though. You know what I'm saying? Canines is used for them to follow and pick up scents. You put her on the scent. She on the trail. So if she ever decide to crisscross you, you gonna have to accept the part you played in it by telling her anything.
All right, well, I'm pretty hungry. You promised me food after I participated. Everybody, she promised me dinner. She said if I was to participate and not say anything crazy to incriminate my family. The first time I came around here, she didn't. She was just like, "Thank you for participating." I did get a gift card, but
that was it.
That was it. I was like, this time I'm gonna get a whole meal. Listen, y'all. She does reward for participation, but I'm just like,
don't tell my followers that, and they ain't gonna want to be a guest in the future if you tell them that I'm not a good host.
And she's a great host, but I mean, that gift card, man, I could have a little bit more on there.
All right, so we gonna end it on what's some good advice.
I'll tell people, follow your logic, not your emotions.
Ooh.
What's for you ain't for everybody. So if you made a choice, you got to live with it. What you eat don't make other people poop. And don't eat yellow snow.
Yellow snow? Wait. Come on now. Because you be just throwing these little sayings. Don't eat yellow snow. Explain.
Cause we live in Ohio. That smells yellow. That's pee.
Okay. All right. I'll just making sure that that's I'm not doing this with you. Well, I appreciate you coming through again to turn the place upside down. Like only you could do.
That's right. I appreciate coming out to the unspoken truth.
Yeah, we had some stuff to discuss. I mean, it's always something to talk about. So
yeah, appreciate being a guest.
All right, y'all. I usually don't cut it short early, but you know what? I gotta eat. And I gotta get myself together. Like, it's been a long week, okay? I love y'all. Be careful. It's supposed to snow some more, so they say. I know you don't want to hear that word, but it's wintertime, so ain't no sense in nobody keep lying about they tired of the cold and they wish they lived somewhere else because you still live here. So it's okay. I will see y'all on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Hey, man, y'all look for new flyers, new reels, videos that I'm about to put out. New content, period. It's a new year. We got to start it off right. But I love y'all. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.